Aha, Kitsibile. Back for more unsolicited sexual advice, ne? I see a lot of new faces out there. Maybe I should introduce myself. My name is Brakom, self-appointed guru of Mtavazo. Shout out to Mtavazo gang. See, sex is one word you will hear a lot during this episode. Mainly because sex is sex, whether ustudla or unama 6 packs. Everybody deserves great sex, guys. 6. As sex, they went to feel it like this. It's a motivator, guys. Great sex can be motivational. Sex so good you wake up the next day, go to work and start Googling careers. Because you're like, after last night's position, I deserve a new position. You know what I mean? You can't work from 6 to 9 and still expect 269. In daughter, maibe ninja. And speaking of danger, this first one, muleye gay. Ladies and gentlemen, the first act, Mr. Dillan, Oliphant.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Dillan Oliphant. Let me tell you guys a story, a true story. I went to a government school. I only realized I was at a government school when Sesko Sam came to our school. We were way too excited for bread. I went to a government school. My father went to a government school. His father went to a government school. I come from a long line of government school attendees. Thank you, apartheid. My father, he prefers me calling him father instead of apartheid alumni. He's a teacher at a government school now. He has come full circle. And I remember getting a bad report in grade 9. My father hated a bad report, hated it almost as much as he hated buying takeaways. His motto was, don't come home with a bad report and there's food at home. I remember one term, I got a bad report. Okay, that was the first. I became consistent afterwards. I was the Sir Alex Ferguson of bad reports. Now, I was not going to take my bad report home because I believe in my father's motto. So I threw it in a stream near my school with no backup plan. I got home and my dad asked me, where's my report? I was like, no, Daddy, we're getting our reports next term. I was not gonna ruin my June holidays. I spent my holidays at my aunt, because us township kids, we don't go to the ocean. We just spend our holidays at a different township. Let me go check out the gangs in Ennerdale. I heard they still use spears. While others were having surf and turf, we were having turf wars. Don't get me wrong, while we were breaking into houses, I still thought about my report. When I smashed that window, visions of my report came flashing by. When we were playing hide and seek with the police, my report was weighing heavily on my mind. But unlike me, eventually school holidays passed. And I had to put my balaclava away to go back to school because my school had a strict uniform policy. Not like now. Now they even make kids wear masks. First day back at school, my dad asked me, Dillan, where's your report? I was like, there, we're getting our reports on Friday. At this point, I was just delaying. That's all I was doing. I was just delaying. Friday came around. My dad asked me again, because elephants don't forget. Dillan, where's your report? I couldn't say it's out getting swimming lessons, so I said the first thing that came to my mind, I was like, there, our accountancy teacher was in a car accident. She had the reports in her boot. Bear in mind, my dad is a teacher, so he knew the protocol. He was like, why did your teacher have the reports in her car? I was like, I don't know. But he let it be because he trusts his boy, even though I didn't do accountancy. At this point, I was too deep into the lie to back out. The thing about lies is that once you start lying, you have to continue lying until there's a Zondo commission. So I lied some more. I came from school the next day. I was like, there, it's looking bad. The accident was worse than first thought. I don't think Miss Mokgotsi is gonna make it. I was so deep in the lie, I even made my teacher a get well soon card. I couldn't afford flowers. Another week went by. I was sitting in class enjoying my truth holiday. This was before payment holiday was a thing. The principal walked into class and said, "Can Dillan Oliphant please come to the office?" My friend ran to fetch me at the toilets where I was bunking. I rushed back to class and I was like, "Sir, what's wrong?" He was like, "No, just come with me to the office." On my way to the office, I knew I was a dead boy walking. I was a young Sean Penn. But part of me was still hoping I'd walk into the principal's office and see Sesko Sam. But I walked into the office and I saw my father sitting at the principal's desk. The principal and I were both nervous. It was like me and the principal were both there to see the principal. The principal asked me, "Dillan, where's your report?" I thought, not this question again. He got louder. He was like, "Dillan, where's your report?" I threw it away, sir. "You threw it away?" "Yes. Sometimes you have to let go and let God." "And what did you tell your father?" "That Ms. Mokgotsi was in an accident, sir." "So you willing to lie about your teacher dying just to get out of trouble?" I was like, "No, sir. She didn't die in the accident. She was wearing a seatbelt. Ms. Mokgotsi isn't irresponsible. She's got 2 kids she raises by herself. She tells us that every day." My father got so angry, he chased me and the principal out of the office. The principal and I sat detention that whole term. I went home that afternoon and I got a beating of a lifetime from my parents. My mom and dad tag teamed me like it was a wrestling match. My father ended up with the belt. 10 years later, I'm pretty sure I can still make a case. If only I can find my hospital report. Thank you very, very much. My name is Oliphant. Thank you.
Pound for pound, siyangena ku-second round. Ladies and gentlemen, a sketch from a man whose surname sounds like how it would if he had it in your mouth. It's Conrad.
Colonialism, the word you use when you steal everyone's shit and pretend you were helping them. Vodacom customers, you know how that feels. You've been colonized by data. This is Cape Town, the most colonized city in Africa. First the Dutch came, then the English came, the Germans are still coming. Literally, I've seen Germans arrive with nothing but sun cream and a box of condoms. Helen Ziller used to run the city of Cape Town and has said over and over that she thinks that, like her personality, colonialism had a good side. In both cases, it's hard to believe. Helen's with me here now. Helen, why is this city so racist? There are lots of people in Cape Town who are not racist, Chester. Like who? Tourists. This is the Dutch castle built on land stolen from the Sand people. How is that a good thing for the Sand? Did I steal anyone's land, Chester? Did I? No. Pam Golding did. What are you doing? I'm trying to block you, but I only know how to block people on Twitter. This is the Victoria and Alfred waterfront in Cape Town. It's where we all go to pay too much for shit food. So, Helen, how is this good for Africans? Well, you must be positive. Yes, you lost your land, your way of life, your human rights were trampled on for centuries. But at least you got Zara. That's not really a fair exchange. You've obviously never been to Zara. The discounts are ridiculous. The waterfront is so colonized, it's named after English royalty. Queen Victoria. That's racist. Is there a King Goodwill's Wellatini shopping mall in London? I don't know who that is. This statue of Jan van Riebeeck is still standing here on one of Cape Town's biggest streets. How is this good for Africans? You're always so negative, Chester. Yes, colonialism means you now live in a shack with no plumbing or electricity. But look on the bright side. If it's fancy dress and you want to look like a pirate, just look at the statue. It's Cape Town. He's not Captain Hook, he's Captain Dook. It's a shitty joke, Helen. Apartheid's legacy means in South Africa the poorest people have to travel the furthest. It's ironic, like a nun in a G-string, or a vegetarian who also eats chicken, or Julius Malema wearing Gucci shoes with freaking overalls. It's ironic. Helen, what has Cape Town done to fix this? Let me rephrase the question. Why is there still a fucking golf course right by the city instead of low-cost housing? Look here, Chester. The city of Cape Town stands behind rich white people's right to hit little balls around close to where they live, instead of having to drive a few kilometers to a golf course like a bunch of savages. Hashtag Golf Lives Matter. So colonialism only has a good side if you're a golfer. Yes, if you want your land back, learn to play golf, and you will get to see your land. Now piss off. Colonialism, the conversation Cape Town doesn't want to have. I said piss off.
Hello, I come back. Only because if I come inside, you will get pregnant. Men, public service announcement. Please stop coming in silence. What is this? Express yourselves. Like this girl coming onto the mic. Up next, ladies and gentlemen, it's Nonto R.
Hello, Sanbonani. Yo, I had a rough childhood, Bafethu. You know, because I think for every father, you want your firstborn to be a son, to carry the legacy. But now I came along. But my father did not give up on his plans that he had with his son. So I was fixing cars, fan belts. He was teaching me how to fix tires, how to change brake pads in the car. And that messed up a whole lot of things because it's not sexy when a guy sees you under the car. And also, to top things off, I don't have boobs. They are not there. They only pop up when I'm making kids and they go back. So it was just hard. I did not get boyfriends. Boys would hey, it's Coco. Why are you calling me Coco? Because I also want a boyfriend. And I'll be the one who's sent to call me. You know how difficult and traumatizing that is to be the one who's sent to call my friends. Like a guy would call me, hey, Nonto, come here. I'm like, yeah. And yeah, please call Cindy for me. And I remember that, if I did get a guy, I'd start motivating him, like those famous motivational speakers. Yeah, don't give up. It's not over until God says it's over. No, come back tomorrow because I might say yes. It was really hard. But then things started changing. They got better. I remember my first boyfriend, he owned a mortuary. It was a very tough relationship, guys. Very tricky because I couldn't even use romantic words like, I'll die for you. Because he would then just go serious and when? And every time he sees me, he asks me how my family was doing. Why are you asking me that? Oh, no, sales are going down. I'm like, must kill one of my siblings to up the sales. So I broke up with him. And then my second boyfriend, that's one. This guy invited me nicely to his place, come visit, yabo. So I got there, first visits. I thought maybe, I don't know, the first kiss would be on the cheek or on the forehead. He just got me to lay on my stomach and he started kissing my palm. I was like, hey, bro. This is a serial killer straight. If I get angry with him, I can't even say, yeah, you can kiss my ass. Broke up with him. I found another one. So this guy, Leo, also, he's kissing. Because when when my friends taught me about kissing, I thought you're supposed to go left, right with your head. Left, right. But this guy would only push me one direction. So whenever he's kissing me, I was like, yo, I ain't gay, guys. And stroke, it kills. So I broke up with him. And then I found another one. He had huge lips. So when he kissed me, it would cover even my nose. So then, I said to him, I can't breathe. And then he was like, yeah, take your breath away. Broke up with him. And then the next guy that I dated, he became my husband. But the reason I got married is because, like, it's so difficult for us, especially if you are born in a Christian family like myself. Because, like, my mom taught me all these morals. Hey, what would Jesus do? Hey, no service of the bedroom before marriage. And then when you grow up, you meet these F-boys and then they're like, no, I'll put it a little bit, just put it on the side. So you are standing there, you're like, okay, Mama said I mustn't do it, but she didn't say how far he can go. And then you end up doing it. And then just after finishing, you just feel guilty, this lump in your throat. You want to explain to Jesus now what just happened. So you praying there like, Heavenly Father, like speaking in tongues. Oh, Jesus, please forgive me. It's me, your daughter. It's the devil. Devil tempted me. And just before I can say amen, the bastard is ready for second round. So now I must pray all over again. I was like, hey, let me just get married, get this over with. So marriage is nice, and the sex in marriage is also very nice because you don't feel guilty. Like my husband is a preacher, right? So he'd be standing there in the pulpit like, he broke the bread and he gave them. I'm like looking at my bread, I'm like, yes, Jesus. That is my bread, hallelujah. I love it. I even started a policy there at home that, if we fight, because couples have their fair share of fights, but let us not mix things. Right, the people that are fighting are up here. Those, they can fight whenever they want to. But the animals down there in South Africa, they must carry on playing. See, and this is how I came to that conclusion. Because this one time, I spent the night going out to the movies, like nice couple things, couple goals, hey. And then when we got there, I sent him to buy popcorn. Now, instead of putting sour cream and chives, he goes and he puts salt and vinegar. Who does that? I felt like my feelings were disrespected here in this marriage. And as a woman, this is where you need to put your foot down because these guys, they don't listen. And he must learn. He needs to know who's who in the zoo. So I decided right there and then, okay, he's not getting the service of the bedroom tonight. My mind is made up. I must teach him a lesson, teach him early so that he knows his place. So we got home, I'm angry, my mind is made up, my blood is flowing nicely clockwise, Get to bed, sleeping on my side, facing that direction. He's not getting it. And then, as soon as he opened the door, and he got into my voice started changing like this. It didn't even touch me, but my blood started going on reverse, like reverse. And then I was like, oh my Jesus, what is happening now? And then I got like a little voice in my head saying, hi, Bo, were you gonna start with your decision tonight? Start nicely next week. So we ended up doing it, and that's how I learned that, what? If I'm punishing him, why must I also be included in the punishment? It's not right.
Hey, Umcholo, guys. See, I've been dating, right? So I got myself an older woman. She's like 11 years older than me. The problem is, she's always trying to prove her youthfulness to me, Sometimes it's cool, sometimes it's alarming, because I'm like, Margaret, you have a house and a bed. Why are we at the back of a Toyota Tez trying to have sex? It's bad for your back. Even worse, what about your arthritis, Margaret? It's almost like she doesn't care. But see me, I care. Because every now and then, I carry an extra can of like deep heat, because I know her knees like to act up. But I'm a caring guy, you know what I'm saying? The other day, she suggested we go to the club. Together, we went to the club. She got Habli at the club. And then she put Snafe in her Habli. The whole club was sneezing. Everyone wasn't having a good time. Well, except her and a couple of other older people in the club. Because they started dancing like a toy. It was almost like throwback apartheid parties or some sort. It was crazy. But here's my problem. It's fine, Margaret. Prove that you're youthful. Do all those things. But I don't like it when it happens with situations that don't need it. Like when we're having sex. She's like, let's go for 3 rounds. I'm like, Margaret, you've got work in the morning. Have you ever had like sex for so long, someone started getting hiccups during the sex? And you're there like trying to help. Because when someone gets a hiccup, you have to help stop them from breathing for a little bit. I was there like, She was like, yeah, harder. I'm like, Margaret, it should be less, not more. Anyway, I think I'm oversharing at this point. But one last question. Uke wawa during i-doggy style? Wabambelela ngamabele? Just me. Hi, okay. You know what? Next time you see me in the streets, holla back. It's Pragom. You know, Thabiso gang, till we die.